Hi guys, my name is Alix, and today I am going to tell you 3 things I had to let go of in OCD recovery. The first thing I had to let go of was the need for certainty. That's kind of what OCD is based around, that you need to know everything that's going to happen. You need to have the reassurance. You need to know that it's all going to be okay and that you can, control that and make it happen. And so I had to let go of that because one of the biggest things that I had to do in OCD recovery was kind of like surrender to the uncertainty and the idea that I had to know everything. It's really big in OCD, like I said, that you want to make sure that you know everything's going to be okay, that everything is going to turn out fine. And life doesn't work that way. Life is very uncertain and we don't know everything that's going to happen. And OCD will tell you that by doing a compulsion that you're stopping something from happening. But the truth is, our compulsions don't keep us safe. Compulsions are a lie that OCD makes up to think that you're controlling an outcome, but you're not, because the hard truth is that nothing we do is going to stop something from happening. And that was really hard for me to let go of, because I'm like, well, what if something really bad happens and it's my fault and I can't get through it? And that's a lie that OCD has told me and so many people, that, this is not true. And for me, I tell myself that, the thing I'm scared of, it may happen, because that's a possibility. Everything is a possibility. But that I know that I will get through it, because I've gotten through other really difficult things before in my life. And so I'm not saying to reassure yourself, but you have to remind yourself that you are resilient, that you are a strong person, and that even if your most feared outcome happens, that you will be okay, that you will still be able to get up in the morning and try again. So that's the first thing that I had to let go of, was that need for certainty. The second one that I kind of just also touched on was that this lie that compulsions keep you safe. This is just not true. And like I said, a lie that OCD wants you to believe. And like I said, I kind of mentioned it before, so this kind of mixed into two, is that no compulsion is going to stop something from happening. Like if something is going to happen, it's going to happen. And just because, I'll give you the example of contamination, that even if I wash my hands over and over again, I still might get sick. It's a possibility, because everything is a possibility. Everything is possible in this life. And I had to realize that this compulsion wasn't actually doing anything for me. It was doing damage. And the damage it does is that the more you reinforce them, the stronger your OCD grows, and the worse OCD is going to show up in your life, because you're feeding it the energy that it needs. And the way to stop that is to stop the compulsion. And that sounds like so much easier said than done, but take it from somebody who was not able to do that years ago and had to work really hard to be able to get to the point that I'm at now, that I don't have to do compulsions anymore. And that doesn't mean that I never do them. Sometimes I do, because some days I have bad days. But now I'm at a point where I know that that compulsion it's going to give me anxiety. It's going to give me relief for 10 minutes. And then it's just going to come back again. And now the OCD is only going to grow more and more every time I do it. The third thing that I had to let go of was that these intrusive thoughts I was having said something about me, that they defined me and made me bad or good. Thoughts don't define you, and they don't make you bad or good. Thoughts are just thoughts. There's no such thing as a bad thought or a good thought. We're all human, and we all have weird, disturbing thoughts from time to time. And people with OCD just tend to notice them more. So you could take a person who doesn't have OCD. Say they have a weird thought that comes up that says, I'm driving my car and I want to swerve when I want to hit someone. Somebody without OCD is going to be like, that was a little strange, and then move on with their day and know that they're not actually going to do that. Somebody with OCD is going to attach to that thought and be like, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to kill someone? What if I do that? What if that makes me a bad person? That's something that I really struggled with when it came to religious OCD, is that these violent thoughts that I was having about Jesus and God made me a bad person, and that meant that I was going to hell. But those thoughts didn't say anything about me. They were just a result of anxiety and my fear and what I was scared of. And I truly believe that thoughts are a result of all the stimuli that you feed yourself all day, what you look on your phone, what you read, it's just everything that's happening in the world. And then, your thoughts kind of like, oh, okay, and hold on to some of it, and then other things that let's go of. So that was something that was really hard for me, was to realize that my thoughts did not define me, and that they were just thoughts. If this sounds like you, I would go to NOCD.com if you are struggling with OCD. Call the number on the screen, and they use exposure response prevention, which is what I use, which saved my life. It's a long journey, but with time, things become a lot easier, and you learn to not give it to compulsions. You become stronger, and it gets easier over time. NOCD offers this type of treatment for OCD, and is the most effective treatment for OCD. So all you have to do is go to the website, NOCD.com, call the number on the screen, and they will connect you with a therapist who can help you start your recovery journey from OCD. There is life after OCD. It does get better. You are not going to suffer forever. Exposure therapy is extremely effective. And like I said, I am proof that exposure therapy works. So I hope this video was helpful and kind of made you think a little bit more, and encouraged you to go to NoCD.com to call the number and start your journey today.